Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL. And so I just wanted to go over this because A, it was requested, and B, because there's a really cool trend line on the chart. And so here we're looking at the daily time scale, and before I zoom in on present price action, I just want to look at this broader view going back to the beginning of the year, and we can see here the 50-day moving average, the blue line, and the 200-day moving average, the green line. Interestingly, price recently got up to near the 200-day moving average, and the 50-day looks like it's right around $56.34, so that would be about a $5 drop from the current price. So I think that's something to consider. But for the rest of this video, I'm going to hide those moving averages because I want to go over this red line before going into the current price action. And so this red line is based on the low of January 3rd and let's see, the high of September 15th. So those two pivot points that you can see there. And so that is based on basically this gap up between December 30th, 2022 and January 3rd, 2023. So the end of last year, the start of this year. We see that pivot point there. And then later on, we see this gap down between May 8th and May 9th, which, gap down to exactly that red trend line, had also previously served as what looks like some support around here. And then resistance over here before moving up and gapping down from $72.50 down to, again, this trend line, which served as resistance more recently, September 15th, being that pivot point. So I guess you can't really say that's resistance there. But yeah, and so this gap was formed between August 2nd and August 3rd. And that gap has not yet been filled, so that would be a move up to $72.50. So I do find that pretty interesting, but for the rest of this video, I'm just going to zoom in so we can look a little more closely at what has more recently been going on with the stock price. And so basically what I see are, this gap up to $72.50, but also two gaps down that are notably smaller than that gap to the upside. But I do think it's important to consider that there are two gaps to the downside, one being to $54.72, and the next one down being to $52.20. And so basically, looking at the chart, I would say that I have more of a bias to the downside, and I feel like that's really because of three reasons. One, because it had went up to the red trend line that I had just gone over, hitting a open price of $62.94, so right at that trend line, but then closing below it, suggesting that it was rejected from that trend line, and then a further continuation down on Friday, December 15th, suggesting that there is confirmation that trend line is being respected as resistance. However, I have gone over trend lines like this in the past, and I have been wrong, so it's possible this is a fake out to the downside before moving to the upside to maybe fill this gap to $72.50. However, other bearish things that stand out to me is this uptrending consolidation in this channel. And so uptrending consolidation like this tends to be bearish because it tends to break to the downside. That hasn't happened yet, and it's quite possible it could break to the upside. Who knows? But I do see this channel as being a bearish sign. So I am expecting these gaps to the downside to be filled before this gap to the upside is being filled. And then also another factor that stands out to me is that we have, higher highs as far as the RSI goes, but then we have, based on the same days, we have lower highs being formed in the stock price. And so that represents, I believe that is hidden bearish divergence, having lower highs formed in the stock price and higher highs in the RSI. So with that hidden bearish divergence, this uptrending channel likely to break to the downside, and having just been rejected from this long-term level of resistance, I'm on the side that thinks PayPal is going to be going down in the coming weeks, coming months. But, of course, I could be wrong with this gap to the upside. So those are just some things to consider. And if you found my thoughts helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching.